Welcome back to another episode of Web3 Deep Dive Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Wolfson. I'm so excited for today's interview. I'm speaking with a very special guest. I'm speaking with Alenka. She is the Director of Ecosystem Success at TON Foundation. And for those of you who may or may not know, TON Foundation is the decentralized platform behind the most popular messaging app, Telegram. So this is a really interesting episode. We talk all about TON Foundation, the TON ecosystem. We talk about Telegram. We go in depth with mini apps and we discuss those and kind of dissect what those are. So this is a really interesting episode, especially for those of you that want to learn more about TON and TON Foundation. Before getting started with today's interview, I also want to take the time to thank ONAP for letting us film at this beautiful creator space here in Austin, Texas. You guys are going to hear more about what ONAP is doing later in this episode, so be sure to stay tuned for that. I also want to remind you guys to like and subscribe to the channel, especially if you enjoy my content. It would mean the world to me if you just smash that like button, hit subscribe so we can stay in touch. Okay, without further ado, let's get started with today's interview. Hey, Alenka, how's it going?
Hi, Rachel. Everything is perfect on my side. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing well. And I'm in Austin, Texas. And I know that the last time we met was in Paris. So that was really fun.
That was an amazing trip.
I know. And I enjoyed the dinner that TON Foundation hosted, or I guess sponsored during the Proof of Talk conference. That was really great.
No, exactly. It was quite delicious as well. And then the topic, thanks to which we all gathered, was really great, right? Like the role of women in Web3 kind of got all of us reunited. And then we just had a nice chat and decided that we need to meet once for a podcast to talk more about TON.
I know because I was fortunate enough to sit next to you during the dinner. So that was definitely a highlight of that trip. So I'm really glad that we met there.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. So I guess before we get started, maybe tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got involved in the crypto space.
Yeah, sure, with pleasure. Look, every time I tell this story, like this is, so fascinating how people with such different backgrounds and stories meet and like end up in crypto just because they're driven by the same mission and goals. So I essentially have my both bachelor's and master's degree in international relations. So I was kind of supposed to become a diplomat back then, but then something went wrong, and I got really fascinated by the crypto industry, by again like the missions, the principles. And so I started getting involved in different crypto, like originally FinTech, but then also crypto startups. So probably my first crypto experience was with a project. So we were building a real estate tokenization platform back then, and we were exploring the American market essentially for the launch, then Cyprus and the United Arab Emirates as well. Then I ended up essentially founding my own accelerator for Web3 startups because I got really excited by what Web3 founders do in general. So I found as my mission to help and support them. And then I met Fox from TON, and I was like, yes, this is the place where I really want to spend the next years, I hope decades. So this is exactly how I joined the foundation almost 2 years ago.
What is your official title at TON Foundation?
So currently I'm Director of Ecosystem Success. So quite a fascinating and, mysterious one. Because then the question is, what is ecosystem success, right?
Right, exactly. That is mysterious. How long have you been with TON?
Almost 2 years now.
Okay, great. Now, our listeners may not be familiar with TON Foundation, so if you could explain what that is and the goal there, that would be great.
Sure. Let me start with TON in general, right? Like quite like evidently enough, TON is a layer one blockchain that was originally created by the Telegram team, but then the project was abandoned and taken up by just Web3 community, like independent folks that continued the support of the infrastructure. And then TON Foundation was founded as a nonprofit whose mission is essentially to support the infra, to support the ecosystem, to support the builders who are essentially bringing the growth to the entire blockchain, to the entire eco, right? So the mission of TON Foundation is to help projects onboard users into Ton and into Telegram, essentially, because we're quite connected, though keeping it very separate as companies.
Interesting. So Ton Foundation is separate from Telegram.
Absolutely, yes. So, I mean, as companies, we operate completely separately. And again, we are kind of responsible for the Web3 side of things, right? So, uh, like Ton is the Web3 rails behind Telegram. That's how I usually describe it, right? And Telegram is the messenger. That's I think currently with like Telegram is number 7 social platform by the number of monthly active users, as well as in parallel, that's a super app, right? So the concept of super apps, it comes from Asia, and Asians quite well know how to, how an app can become really viral and how it
Mhm.
can become the so-called super app with a lot of mini programs inside the same interface, just as WeChat in China, right? So WeChat is currently bigger than Telegram, but Telegram is growing quite rapidly. What makes Telegram very different as a super app is that it's first global, so it's not focused on any particular region as WeChat, for example, and then that it's run on Web3 Rails, and that's where Ton actually enters the picture. So we are the Web3 infra that allows for deploying mini programs on blockchain inside the messenger.
Got it. Okay. Just out of curiosity, because so Telegram is, it's a messaging app that is using Web3 Rails. And so the messages are encrypted. Is that fair enough to say that? Is that
Look,
that the
I mean, those
messages?
things are not necessarily, connected. Yes, they are encrypted, but like Ton doesn't really have to do anything with that. Because I mean,
Okay.
the messengers, they're not stored on chain, nothing of this kind. It's all about the mini apps that run inside the messenger. I'll share some links with you so that you can test them yourself, right? So just imagine, I mean, you open Telegram, you just text messages to your friends, you make calls, you read channels and news, right? Those are basically the three, I think, main use cases for the majority of users, for an average user. I mean, especially in the US, potentially, right? But I know that for messaging, you use iMessages a lot, right? So that's where Telegram really competes with iMessage, essentially.
Does te- does Telegram compete with Signal at all?
Yeah, I think I mean they definitely do. I'm just not sure about the popularity of Signal like globally. I did use it because I live in Dubai, and it's kind of popular there, but just for very exceptional cases. But anyway, what I was saying is that like just texting your friends, like chatting, and then consuming news across channels. Those are the major use cases that users are just familiar with. But such a great thing as mini apps has existed on Telegram actually for a long time, for a few years already. So, what it essentially means is imagine any, I don't know, game, any payment app, any financial app that you open within Telegram, within the same single interface that you use to text your friends, right? So, it's just a mini program that opens as a separate app within Telegram, right? And then there's so many use cases right now of those mini apps. And then the kind of the bridge between the mini app and the messenger is the wallet, right? Because I mean, this is how we essentially pay, how we can start storing our data on chain, how we can, I don't know, start owning collectibles, how we can make transactions within the game, etc., etc. So, Wallet is a separate product. It's run by a third party. And essentially, okay, so that's going to be difficult, but I'll try to break it down. So a wallet is a mini app inside Telegram that was founded again like a few years ago. And in some regions, it can be discovered in the settings of Telegram and in the interface of Telegram. So it means that it's kind of natively integrated into the messenger, right? So you can find it in settings or in the attachments, when you want to send a message to your friend, you can attach a photo, a file, and then you will see a separate section for the wallet, which means that you can just open it and send crypto to any of your friends very seamlessly in one single click. That's the ideal picture, right? Like wallet now isn't available across all the world regions, right? They're doing this rollout quite, progressively, step by step, also embracing the regulation across different world regions. And wallet, the main part, the custodial part of the wallet, is not available in the US yet. So I'm trying to anticipate probably
Mm,
your thesis that you potentially. I think I showed you the wallet when we were sitting at that amazing dinner back in Paris,
yes.
right? But you can't really access the custodial part of the wallet yet in the US. Why I'm referring to it as a custodial part, because the interesting thing is, which may confuse people, is that wallet essentially has two parts: the custodial part, which is now called crypto wallet, and the non-custodial part, which is indeed called Ton wallet. So when I open this app, for example, in Dubai, I see two sections and I can switch between them. I will see crypto wallet, where I can essentially hold, like, store my, like, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other crypto assets, obviously Ton as well, right? And I can send all this crypto to any of my friends. And then a separate section, which is called Tom Wallet. That's the self-custodial part. So, which means that I do store my private, my seed phrase, my private key myself, right? And then there are a lot more opportunities within the Ton ecosystem, because you can earn additional rewards. You can, seamlessly trade crypto, also send it to friends. You can store your NFTs there, etc. So, etc. etc. So this is essentially like a MetaMask inside Telegram.
Mm.
So again, like, to break it down, two parts of the wallet: crypto wallet, which is not available in the US yet, because I know you're very interested in the American side of the story, right? And then
Yes.
the Ton wallet, which has been available in the US for the last, I think, month. Yeah, now we're like, now that's late August, which means that it's already available in the US for around a month. So they finally rolled out Tom wallet, so the self custodial part, in America 1 month ago.
So what does that, so obviously I use Telegram, and then the Ton wallet, what does that allow me to do? It allows me to self-custody my crypto in Telegram.
Yes, so you will essentially open a wallet inside Telegram, and you'll see your crypto. Like, you'll need to send your crypto assets there, or, like, do it through on ramp, like whatever way you prefer. There are multiple ways of doing that, and yes, you will see your assets inside Telegram, which would mean that you, like, if you want to use any mini app inside Telegram, let's say you want to invest, right? You want to invest in some DeFi protocol and just earn passive yield, whatever. Like, for like let me give you a very specific example. So Athena launched on Ton a few months ago, right? Back in April, we made a large announcement at token 2049. So Athena USD is now available on Ton. What it essentially allows you to do is to open your crypto wallet, connect it to any DeFi protocol that has USDE, invest in a simple click, connecting your wallet, invest in a single click, and earn passive income. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to connect your MetaMask separately. Like, you don't need to leave Telegram. Everything happens inside the messenger.
I see. Okay. So would you say that this is something that is helping both crypto natives and non-crypto natives have access to just easier crypto use, I guess, because not, Telegram is used widely. It's not like only crypto people are using Telegram, but now Web2 users that have Telegram can also play with crypto.
Exactly, 100%. And this is exactly our mission, right? And this is exactly something that makes us very, very different from any other blockchain, because we're not targeting degen users. We're not targeting Web3 users who already know how to use a crypto wallet, how to store their money, where to put them, how to farm airdrops, right? Like, this is not our story. Obviously, we do have such projects, and we also embrace Web3 users. We welcome them very, very much. But our the potential of this amazing combination of Telegram and Ton is to indeed onboard Web2 users who don't know what crypto is, and actually who don't have to know, because we're trying to simplify it as much as we can. So imagine you receive a link from me today to join a new game, right? You just see like Alenka is inviting you to join Meme Hustle, which is one of the really like top trending games on time right now. So you just easily click the link, you start playing. So I mean, this is a tower defense game with meme coin narrative. You get engaged, you get involved, you like the game, and then at a certain point, you would need to potentially, I don't know, purchase something inside the game, for which you would need to use a crypto wallet, right? And then we interact. There are a lot of social features. Like every game on Ton understands, like every project understands that you need to essentially implement social elements, because Telegram and Ton is all about communication and interaction between people, because that's a messenger, right? So all the games are like fun. They involve different competitive mechanics. So let's imagine we're playing this game inside Telegram. We don't need to leave the messenger. We're using our crypto wallet inside the app, and you don't even need to know that that's crypto, because the idea is to make this super seamless, and very fun and simple.
Yeah, I mean that it's really incredible to hear that this popular, hugely popular messaging app is allowing crypto use within the app, right? Like I'm not in WhatsApp using crypto, like I'm just in WhatsApp chatting with people. So this is really incredible, in my opinion. But I also think it's probably challenging allowing users that are pure Web2 users to understand these concepts. So I want to know how Ton and how you personally are tackling those challenges.
No, it's indeed like, look, if you asked me what the main challenge currently is, that would definitely be like user acquisition. Because unfortunately, I mean, we do have that, 1 billion users of Telegram that everyone's talking about, but onboarding those people into crypto is a very, very hard challenge. So that's, let's say, the challenge we're trying to tackle as an ecosystem, not just us at the foundation, but obviously every single builder that is doing something on Ton. I mean, who we try to support as much as we can, right? Because I mean, it's still it's very difficult to explain those concepts and to make them, invisible to the end user. And I'm pretty sure that every ecosystem knows how hard it is. So what we are trying to do as the foundation is to really gather the best practices and share them with those teams that come to Ton to build games, payment apps, I mean, DeFi apps, NFT marketplaces, whatever idea they really want to test and to experiment with, right? So our idea is to facilitate, to share these best practices and to create spaces for founders to connect with each other, with our ecosystem partners, again, to share their insights, what works, what doesn't, and achieve that so-called ecosystem success that we started our conversation with. Because again, like user acquisition, using different ads networks, and then finding really the best formula for their unit economics is really, really hard still.
Yeah, it's interesting. So people can come and they can build on Ton and they can make these mini apps for Telegram users.
Yeah.
How big is the Ton ecosystem in terms of just like people building on it and creating these mini apps? Do you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because this is my direct responsibility. And so we have recently actually digitized the entire ecosystem of builders. And now we clearly know that we have over 520 teams actively building on Ton, and over 800 teams that are either already building on Ton or considering building something, like even either porting their Web3 apps from somewhere else to Ton, or even coming from Web2, like, with essentially no experience in Web3. So that's over 800 teams.
You are the new media. Influencer, creator, brand. You aren't just posting, you're creating the future. Own is the app designed for you, and you'll earn what you deserve, 50% more than other social apps. Weekly ranks, featured posts, tipping, and you don't even need followers to go viral. Download Own and share your affiliate link. You'll earn 3 Own tokens for everyone you get to sign up. Own, because you're the next generation of media. Okay, let's go back to the concept of mini apps. I'm fascinated by this. So, with mini apps, can you explain what you think makes a mini app really successful, and why would Telegram users want to use a particular mini app?
Yeah, sure. So it all goes back to what I was saying about social features, right? Because it's very hard to discover a mini app on Telegram. Why? Because the social graph of Telegram is very, very different compared to, I don't know, any meta company, right? Like there is no single feed as on Facebook, there is no single feed as on Instagram, etc., etc. So the only way to discover a mini app, I mean, not the only way, like there are a few of them. So the first one is essentially through your friends, right? Like the example I was making just a couple of minutes ago, when I share a link with you, like Rachel, please join me in this game or invest with me into this particular app, or I'm going to send you money now through this mini app, just, I mean, be ready to receive it, etc., etc. So the first one is just, sharing it with each other. And that's exactly why you want the app to go viral, so that people start sharing it with their friends, like in like with all of their friends, not just with one single friend. So the first aspect of it is like make people share. The second one is essentially different platforms, like aggregation platforms that we have on Telegram, because I mean, I'm sure you noticed that there is no app store on Telegram, like an official one, right? You don't see a catalog of apps inside Telegram, at least yet, right? There are some limitations because of I mean, Apple and Google rules. That's why we still don't have a single uniform app catalog inside Telegram. There are only suggestions of like grossing apps. I'll show you how it works. I'll send you the screenshots and you'll better understand what exactly I'm referring to. But the problem is discoverability again. So there is an app catalog called Telegram Mini App Center, Telegram App Center, which is an independent project again, which is tightly connected to Ton Foundation. So the team that is building it is essentially currently part of Ton Foundation, Ton Studio. So that's an independent app catalog, which you can open again as a mini app. So that's a mini app with a lot of mini apps inside. Right, so Telegram, mini app, and a lot of mini apps inside this mini app. So that's a catalog of apps. This is also how you can discover new applications for yourself. Like, I mean, save them and then use them in your daily life. The Telegram App Center team runs a lot of interesting campaigns. For example, they've recently launched loyalty program to keep people, entertained and engaged, to increase the retention rate. They run a lot of interesting things. But again, you need to be familiar with Telegram App Center. You need to know about it, and I'm pretty sure that's the first time in your life you're hearing about it, right? So the idea really is to make it viral, to make people talk about it, about, I mean, particular mini apps that really drive the attention of a lot of users. And this is exactly what happened last year with Notcoin. Have you ever heard of Notcoin?
No, but please explain what happened.
Okay, so there was a series of really, really viral mini apps. And when I say viral, I literally mean like dozens of millions of users of those mini apps, right? So it all started in January 2024 with Notcoin. That was a super simple app. And I'm so curious that you have never heard of it. Okay. Look, so that's a super simple mini app that you would open. I mean, you can still open it, but the active phase is already over. The only thing you would need to do, okay, not the only, but the main thing you would need to do is just to tap on the screen. Like you would be tapping, 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 and earning coins. That, as you can imagine, would then be transferred into real crypto, right, at the TG stage. So that app, thanks to its simplicity, and social features inside, because apart from just tapping, you would need to share it with friends, you would need to compete for top ranks with your team, because there was also some team mechanics inside. It really went viral, like everyone knew about it, and this is exactly why like millions of people learned about ton last year, 2024. It was really like the year of ton's amazing growth.
Hmm.
So it all started with not quite, and again, thanks to simplicity and thanks to those social mechanics that the team has managed to implement, sharing with friends, competing for prizes, and then obviously expecting those rewards in the end, right at the TGE stage. That was something that was really driving the growth. And to be fair, people received a very large airdrop from the team. Like, can you believe that? I think like the average airdrop size for like across the users was over, I think like $200. Like that was the average. Oh yeah, like the average. That was really great. And the only thing you needed to do was to tap on the screen, right? Like no like complicated degen stuff, farming an airdrop. That's usually about DeFi projects, right? So that really, helped surge this interest in Ton in general, and a lot of builders came, and then a lot of teams built very similar things, like Hamster Combat. That was also a very fascinating
I've heard
game.
of that one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Perfect. So that was like those guys really showed like record breaking numbers. They reported to have achieved over 200 million users at a certain point. Yeah, so I'm glad you've heard of it. Again, like simple mini game where you would be running your own centralized exchange, right? You would open cards, and to be fair, that was really fascinating. I don't usually play games, but that was really interesting. So I must admit, I used to play it at a certain period every day of my life. So and there were like dozens of similar mini apps that also managed to get over 1 million users, which is kind of a good milestone for any Web3 project. So this is how Ton became popular, and how it managed to drive a lot of attention from different teams across different verticals, not only games and like social like tapping things, but also like DeFi, payments, AI, like any vertical really. But like circling back to your question and wrapping it up, uh, like regardless of the type of the app you're building on Telegram and on Ton, again, whether payment app, financial app, you need to think about the social aspect of it, because you're building for a Telegram user who first doesn't necessarily know about crypto at all, and second, he's in Telegram for communication, for doing something with friends, and this is actually the ground point for you. um,
Hmm.
this is something to always bear in mind.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, we could probably have an entire episode on mini apps, which we actually should do. We should do a follow up. But I guess my last question on it, the mini apps, that's available for all Telegram users,
Yes,
even users in the United States. Has that always been the case? Because I'm like, why didn't I play Notcoin?
totally. No, that like the mini apps are available. They definitely like geo block some geographies, like in sanctioned countries, for instance. But mini apps as such, they are available in the US indeed.
And when you say crypto points or the airdrops, $200, like how is that converted? Is that USDC or does Ton has a coin, Ton coin, right?
For sure.
So is that all in Ton coin? Like how are the rewards earned?
Look, obviously, every project being a Web3 project, they're interested in launching their own token. So yes, those run on the Ton network. So we have our own standard for tokens, which is essentially equivalent to ERC20 on Ethereum. In the same manner, we have Jettons, which is the token standard for tokens that run on the Ton network. So Notcoin essentially launched their own coin with a ticker Not. And Hamster Combat as a game. They also launched their own token, Hamster. Some projects use Toncoin for rewards as well, which is the main token of the entire network, of the entire ecosystem.
Got it. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, it's really interesting. Now, recently read, was there a wallet upgrade that happened on Ton recently with the wallet?
Yeah, exactly. So, this is something I already mentioned. There was this, amazing and so long-awaited rollout of the not custodial part of the wallet in the US. So essentially, this part is now available to American users, which was really a great milestone that we as an ecosystem achieved because we really wanted to tap into the potential of the American market. So that was essentially the main upgrade. And again, the separation, like crypto wallet on Telegram, still not available in the US, and then Ton wallet is now finally available to American users.
Hmm. So I'm curious. We talked about the mini apps. I want to know other use cases, like in terms of what we're seeing, what we may see in the future. Will there be something like an e-commerce type of situation on Telegram where there might be an app where users can make purchases and people can pay with those, with either their native token or Toncoin? Like what are the other use cases that you hope to see and that we're seeing now?
Yeah, I'll tell you more. I mean, like we even already have a lot of cases of this type. There are a lot of like e-commerce like mini apps on Telegram and Ton, which are already like operational. So again, I'll share a couple of them. We have a lot of like apps, cashback style apps, which is called, like, one example is Ton Cash. A lot of e-commerce, a lot of travel platforms where you can book a flight or a hotel with Toncoin or with any other coin running on the Ton network. So examples would be nTravelX or Ton Travel and a couple more. We have crypto cards that are already available on Ton as well. So you can essentially buy real world products and pay for real world services with crypto, with a crypto card.
Hmm, interesting. Are you, with your role as, you work with ecosystem success, do you go out and explain to people why they should build on Ton and why they should build these apps, for instance, like, allowing people to book flights?
Yeah, I mean, I try my best actually, and this is one of the opportunities that I got thanks to you. No, look, this is an essential part of my role as well. This is exactly why I travel to different conferences, and do keynotes at different stages. But then I essentially have two teams under management. One is ecosystem support team, so we provide marketing assistance to teams, we provide fundraising support, we do acceleration and a lot of other similar things, like demo days, connecting them with VCs, with ecosystem partners. And then I also have another amazing team, which is called Regional Growth or Ton Hubs. And Ton Hubs are essentially small local teams, like our physical nodes across the globe, right? So we currently have five, two in Asia, one in the CIS region, one in Europe, and one finally in the US. So I would absolutely love to present to you the guy who will be running the Ton US hub. We essentially, he's still in the onboarding process.
Okay.
So and hubs, they are responsible for onboarding new teams and new developers to Ton. So exactly what you were saying, right? Like telling people why they must be so excited about the Ton ecosystem. I mean, they really must. And they do it through different events like local meetups, speed networking with teams and VCs, mini hackathons, workshops, like really all types of both tech oriented and business oriented events, right? Because like being a developer doesn't necessarily mean being a good project founder. and the other way around. So we try to focus on both, like onboarding developers who know how to code, and this is an absolutely essential skill in Web3, right? And like to run any Web3 project. But then being a good founder as well. This is quite a challenge for most
Hmm.
teams, especially during hackathons. So answering your question, yes, I do it personally, but then I have amazing people who do it along with me across the two teams that I currently have.
Yeah, I'm excited for the US hub, and I definitely want to know how I can get involved somehow because I'm US based. I think that's really exciting. And I want to ask you, are we seeing this innovation with TON coming to the United States more because we're in this, we have kind of a crypto friendly administration? Do you think that's the case?
That's definitely one of the reasons. I mean, like, kind of an obvious reason, right? And this is something a lot of people are counting on right now. But then again, due to regulatory issues and the entire story of Telegram, right, with the SEC, we've always, like, we've historically been very careful with that market.
Hmm.
So we have never tapped into its potential, but I'm literally extremely excited about working with DeFi and GameFi builders in the US because they're and like payments in RWA, which is really, I think at its peak at this point. So I'm super excited because I see a lot of potential. And I mean, those people, they don't know that they can actually build on Tron, build a simple mini app in again, like in a very fast manner, and start earning, I don't know, up to 100K monthly revenue after a few months or even like at once, right? And we are there to support. Like we at the foundation, we gather those best practices, we turn them into useful resources and support program, and we're there to help them with the launch so that they can understand that they can really jump in very quickly, build an app, I mean, go to market together with us, and grow and scale very
Hmm.
fast and very
Hmm.
effectively.
Hmm.
With an exposure to, like, with a potential exposure to 1 billion people, I don't think any other ecosystem is there to offer this.
No, I mean it's really incredible when you think about it because g- a large goal of Web3 is to, mainstream adoption, right? And that's going to start by attracting Web2 users. And Telegram and Ton is really well positioned because because it's associated with Telegram, right? So it blows my mind that we're not seeing this more like talked about more, I guess, because it's really one of the best use cases, in my opinion. Like this is really how mainstream adoption can happen through Telegram because of Ton, is what I'm thinking.
100%. And then we have like real examples of, super apps that already work. So just to give you an understanding, on WeChat, 30% of WeChat users, they tried at least one mini program in their life. On Telegram, this number, I mean, thanks to those tap to earn apps I was mentioning, like Notcoin and Hamstercom, but it's already even higher. So, according to the recent stats, 40% of Telegram users have opened at least one mini app in their life. Like,
Mm.
can you believe it? Of course, it doesn't mean that, those 40% of 1 billion are now active users of Ton. Unfortunately, not. That would be, dream come true. And this is exactly our mission as the foundation, right? But it's a very, progressive, step by step, um, and really like hard process to do it, because everything needs to, be derived from the need of the user. So we need to find the use cases that would help us cover a particular need of the user. It's not just about, again, like rewards and airdrops. Of course, like in last year showed us how easy it is to attract a lot of people to a mini app that offers rewards, right? So that's the point. But again, it's more about a sustainable use of an app and not anything else, because we're here in the long term, and we really want those cases to help people, to make them happier, to make their life easier, more fascinating, more fun.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of shifting gears a little bit. I want to know if you can explain to us why blockchain is important for Telegram, I guess. Like, why is it important to have mini apps built on a decentralized network like Ton versus, any other way, I guess?
Sure. I mean, I would say there's so many aspects to that, but I believe I mean, again, I'm not Pavel Durov himself because the idea originates from him and his brother. But I think the original idea was just to give more power to the community, to builders, right? Like to really create an open ecosystem where anyone can benefit from the messenger and the network effect that Durov's team has managed to build over the years. And so to create this really like open graph, I mean, not open social graph, because indeed, like on the contrary, on Telegram, you can hardly forget any data about the user, and that this is what makes user acquisition super complicated. But the idea is to create an ecosystem where anyone can come, build an app, and tap into the potential of that 1 billion people, right? And again, to give monetization opportunities, because builders, they earn money on that, right? So the
Hmm.
idea of every startup and every mini app is a startup of its kind, is to make money, is to make profit, and this is how they can easily do it. I mean, not easily, to be fair, but they can come and start doing it on Telegram. That's the builder's side, right? But then there is the user side as well. So it's all about the true ownership of things, of everything, essentially, of our assets, of our lives, and stuff like that, right? That decentralized philosophy that I think we all share in the Web3 space, right? We want to be the genuine, the true, the real owners of everything that we have in our life. Again, of our gaming assets, of our money, of our personal connections, or like on any social platform, all of that. So it's really very multi-sided, as a concept. But again, it's all about openness, and I think the reorganization of a lot of things in this society, that the Telegram's team has originally viewed as a challenge and as something that is to be rebuilt
Hmm.
radically.
Hmm. Yeah, so this has been a really interesting conversation. Shifting gears a little bit, I want to know more about what Ton is focused on and what you're focused on this year and what you hope to see.
Yeah, that's a very good question. At every crypto conference, like builders ask us about that, and it's such a challenge to answer every time. Look, so at the foundation, we formulated a clear strategy, like trying to really focus on the core things, on the core verticals for 2025. And so we identified, I would say, four main areas. And those are obviously gaming. We talked a lot about games today, right? So, again, taking the example of WeChat, mini games are really something that help drive the adoption, because people love playing fun and engaging games. So gaming is the first one. The second one is payments, because it's also like not rocket science that like crypto payments is one of the only use cases in crypto so far that we can call killer cases, those that really drive the adoption, and those that really have worked so far. Yeah, so then the third one I would mention are financial apps, and that's intentionally that I'm not calling it DeFi, because we're trying to avoid complicated Web3 concepts. So we call them like simple finance apps, where you can essentially invest your money inside Telegram in a few clicks, right, and earn passive income on the same Athena assets that I was mentioning in the beginning, right? So you just open a mini app, you invest your crypto, and then you open it next month, and you already see some additional money on your account. So that's the idea, to simplify everything. And we're going to have a lot of interesting and fascinating new assets coming to Ton, including tokenized Telegram bonds, for example, which we are expecting quite soon. And then actually Bitcoin, which is going to be running on the Ton network. So the asset is going to be called TGBTC, and that's a completely decentralized Bitcoin on Ton that people will be able to hold, trade, send to friends. And do a lot of stuff like use it inside games, DeFi app, like financial apps, sorry, and so on and so forth. And again, we've recently onboarded Athena, Tether's Gold, and a lot of interesting launches are upcoming. And then probably the last area is the most fascinating one. And you probably also haven't heard about it ever, but Telegram launched such an amazing thing as Telegram Gifts not long ago. It was back in like late 2024 when the first Telegram gifts appeared. And this is really a fantastic thing that is driving the ecosystem growth greatly recently. So, Telegram gifts are exclusive Telegram assets that you can now also hold on chain. So I'll send you some gifts after the podcast. So you can essentially send those gifts to friends. You can wear them on your Telegram profile, showcasing that you have such amazing gifts in your ownership. And then you can also trade them on chain. So you can convert them into NFTs on top, which is really a breakthrough. And a lot of people got super excited about it because of the, I mean, speculation aspect, of course, but then like just generally also decentralized ownership, the thing that we've already discussed today, right? So Telegram gifts are what we call Telegram assets, or the elements of the Telegram economy. That's a very huge market now, over 200 million in market cap, over 200k traders of those Telegram gifts. That's the number we already have on Ton and on Telegram. The daily volume, I think, has exceeded almost 10 million in daily terms last month. So, I mean, like those are very, very large numbers that also helps to position Ton among top three chains by NFT trading volume during the recent months, right? So I'm just trying to explain where the growth has recently been coming from. So Telegram gifts are amazing. And then Snoop Dogg has recently launched a collection of Telegram gifts together with Telegram not long ago. I'm not sure whether you've seen it. He even um, released a video, a YouTube video on that song. So you should definitely watch it and listen to the song. Yeah, so this essentially helps us to onboard a lot of IP and large brands into Telegram and Ton, right? So we've seen Pudgy Penguins coming. We've seen they bought a yacht club. We've seen Doodles, Azuki, and a lot of other brands coming, I mean, just globally coming to Ton and Telegram to launch their mini games, their sticker packs, and stickers are also very exciting, very exclusive Telegram assets, which are not on chain yet, but we're trying to push it as much as we can. So our team has recently released a new NFT standard, an upgraded NFT standard for I mean not only for stickers but just for any non-fungible assets on Ton. So we definitely expect like different ecosystem players to adopt it. And yeah, so this is the fourth category of apps that we're really trying to push and to spread the adoption of, and we see it as our essential mission. So those four things are our focus. I mean, that's still a lot, right? But overall, like gaming, financial apps, payments, and Telegram assets or Telegram economy are really something we're very much concentrating on, and we encourage teams to come and build it with us, and we're there to help with whatever they need, including marketing resources, highlighting the launch on our social media, helping the teams get connected with other ecosystem players, including large partners, important ecosystem teams, and like just whoever you want to get connected with, helping you guys fundraise, and so all the necessary points that we can potentially cover to help you successfully launch, grow, and scale in the Ton ecosystem.
Wonderful. Well, I know we're running low on time. So before we end the conversation, how can our listeners get in touch with you and how can they learn more about TON and TON Foundation if they'd like to do that?
Look, I mean, they can definitely follow me on Twitter. So my handle is Alenka UQ. It's Alenka, and then U and Q in capital letters. And so what I usually say is that those that understand what UQ at the end means can get a faster reply from myself.
Well, Alinka, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure having you on, and we should definitely do a follow up in person next time. So hopefully, I'll get to see you soon.
100% no, Rachel. Thank you so much for having me. I hope that was clear, everything that I was explaining, right? Because I understand that may be complicated sometimes. But again, my general message is everyone should be coming to TON because we have an amazing future ahead. And it's really like now is still the right moment.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Likewise.
Thanks. Bye. Special thanks to 4Labs Digital for producing Web3 Deep Dive podcast. I'd also like to thank the sponsors behind Web3 Deep Dive. You can click the links in the show notes to learn more about each of the Web3 initiatives from these sponsors. Finally, thanks to the listeners for tuning in. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and share.